Hello and welcome to the Guitar Collection. Today is a first for me because this is the first time playing an instrument by the very well-known Granada-based maker José Vigil. Now I've been hearing a lot about his instruments. I've been hearing about their power and their refinement, but I hadn't played one yet, and I kind of just set it off to the side in my mind because there's so many makers, and as you guys know through this channel as well, there's just so many great guitars out there. So when I tuned this one up and I played it for the first time, I wasn't expecting a few things. One of the things I was not expecting was just the amount of power that this guitar delivers. So I went over to, as soon as I played a chord on this guitar, I went over to José Vigil's website and I was like, wow, I wonder what he says about the sound of his instruments. And he talks about how his guitars project very well, but not sacrificing the sound. And I really have to agree. One thing that really sticks out to me, and I promise we'll go over the specs. I'm not going to mow over this guitar here. But one thing that sticks out to me is how present the mid-range is without it being a nasal sound. So I'll play some more chords and things and see if you can tell what I mean. This is true all over in the neck of the guitar as well. It sounds like a really well-built structure, like it's just built from this ground up, and every part of it is powerful and really, really well balanced. Like this sixth string is intoxicatingly thick. And then the basses, as you push hard into them, nothing drowns out one another here. Right? Especially in different areas of the neck. Sometimes when you come down here, maybe the sixth string will pop out and the fifth and fourth will be too quiet. Really even here. So I think you would notice that right away when playing this guitar. And then after you travel through those super powerful basses, many guitars out there will have trebles that are underwhelming after that. You'll be like, wow, these basses, but the trebles will be something like, and have no brightness to them. But if I just continue traveling through the strings in this rolled chord, you'll see they pop out in this texture extremely well also. And then on top of that, as you're playing this guitar and you move up the neck with the trebles, you notice that they're very resonant. A lot of beautiful overtones. And then it's balanced out by these bass strings, which when I pluck that sixth string, that growl of the sixth string stays really, really present. It's very well intonated all over the neck as well. Anyways, I'll talk a little bit more about the sound shortly. I got carried away, but let's talk about the specs. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video a couple of things that surprised me right away when I saw and played this guitar. And when I saw this guitar, I knew this was an extremely refined and well-crafted instrument. I mean, all of the little details on this guitar are so well done. You're not going to find little corners that are lacking finish or little spots missing here and there in the rosette or the purflings. Everything is super perfect. The polish is super perfect. It's really quite amazing. So I have to start with this rosette. This is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Granada-made rosette of today, of the Granada makers. I mean, it has so much intricate detail. I love all of these little black lines, the 4 rings here of these little tiny black lines, and the mosaic that goes along the center, which looks like a an interwoven rope. Moving on away from this incredible rosette, you'll see on the tie block here of the bridge, some of that same motif that you'll see in some of the outer rings going along the tie block. And then very simple purflings, but some nice details and colors that match the rosette. A beautiful spruce top, of course. And then when I turn the guitar around, you will notice Indian rosewood back and sides. Something of note to me, which I always pay attention to, are the heels of guitars here. And the neck heel is rather scooped away and thin, which I quite like. This meets some of the demands of a modern player where you want to be able to reach these upper frets very easily, and this guitar will do that, certainly. Moving on to the neck here, you'll find a really nicely shaped neck. Again, for the modern player, most players are wanting thinner necks, C-shaped patterns. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you prefer a huge D-shaped neck, but that's not me. This is a nice thin C-shaped neck with very low action, and this guitar really excels with playability. Moving up to the headstock, you'll see really nice Alessi tuners with snakewood buttons and a very nice ebony headstock design here. Overall, a really classy guitar. One thing to note about the fingerboard is that there's a fret dot on the 7th fret and the 10th fret. And that 10th fret dot is a little bit unusual. That was at the request of the person who commissioned this guitar. But you get quickly used to that, or you could cover that with something. It's no big deal. But let's talk a little bit more about the sound of this guitar. Like I said, it sounds like it's being filled up from the bottom to the top with missing nothing in between. And it's something that's very desirable about this guitar. Let's test it with a little bit of Prelude 11 by Francisco Tárrega. One thing I certainly feel with this guitar is that it's a very trustworthy guitar. And there's a lot of things that go into that. I mean, one is just how you feel with the sustain of the guitar, not feeling rushed when you're going from note to note. Like, it's going to give you something beautiful, even if you stick around for a little while. But then there's other factors like the balance of the guitar, not having to like preemptively choose a note to be way louder because that one's going to be tough to match the previous note. Like when I'm doing passages like this, there's bass notes all over the fingerboard here, and I'm just using one attack and it's all working really well, I think. And then when you play block chords like this, I'm not trying to balance that at all, and I feel like it's perfectly balanced. You know, when I feel pleased by a chord like that, I think about something my late great professor Bruce Holzman used to say, which he used to say, great players have great chords. And, this is when he was teaching, maybe about roll chords versus block chords, or this type of idea. And also the balance of chords. And this guitar makes that type of thing feel so easy. I don't really know how he does it. But everything feels very simple on this guitar. And on top of that, I find that vibrato is so easy to achieve. Really nice guitar. Let's try a little bit of Capricho árabe by Tárrega. Wow, what an impressive guitar. And you know from the very first note, the way that this 6th string resonates, there's just something magical about it. And that first string gives you that feeling that you're playing somehow two different instruments, right? Like bass and also a vocal melody, but somehow they work together so cohesively. Like when you hear a string quartet playing and they're just so in sync with one another and they're just beautifully matching. This guitar gives you that type of feeling. So this guitar, as I'm saying these words, is currently available. So please check it out at guitarcollection.com. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's a really great growing community here. I love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you've had an experience with a José Vigil guitar. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the website. There's an email list that I send out just about every Friday now about new instruments before they become available. You get your first shot at guitars like these. Well, congratulations to José Vigil. This is a beautiful instrument from the year 2024. It is in perfect condition, and I'm very careful when I say that. And it is really quite impressive. In fact, over the past hour, I've been getting to know this guitar, and it's actually opened a lot during that time. Like, it's gotten more resonant, and it just sounded a little bit more loose and relaxed. And that's a great sign. It's something that you'll get to discover as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will be sure to see you in the next one or in a live stream every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. Thanks again. See you in the next one.